Okay, there we go. So, yeah, again, thank you and welcome. I got a nice big group in front of me. I think the biggest I've presented to before, so I'm glad to see everybody here. Today, we are going to be breaking down the Avocado spring release. So, let's go ahead and get started. So for those of us joining us for the first time, and for everyone, I'll just do a quick review of what we're going to cover today. We're going to discuss implementation throughout the next couple weeks for the Avocado spring release. After that, we're going to discuss some new features and changes. This is with the switch to quarterly. I have quite a large list of features to discuss with you today, and I'm looking forward to it. After that, we're going to spend a bit of time discussing bug fixes included in the spring release as well. And we'll wrap up at the end, and we'll discuss what's next from us for the summer and subsequent quarterly releases. So, yeah, like I said, we'll just do a quick review of implementation. And at this point, I would like to remind everybody to maybe save your questions, not for me, but for either your account manager or implementation manager. I'm going to keep things relatively high level today. And again, either your account manager or implementation manager will be happy to answer any specific questions about specific features or bugs or implementation. Really, whatever you have for us, we'll be happy to help. But again, touching on implementation here, we're going to have the spring release ready for your sandboxes as soon as the coming Monday. At that point, we encourage internal testing and feedback. We want to hear your feedback. And as per your approval, we'll begin to be ready to roll out into your production environment for the subsequent week. And on that note, I do just want to circle back to our next steps for the spring release. We touched on this when I met with you guys back in, I think it was January. So you would have got your release notes last week. And here we are today. You're all here with me. Thank you again. And again, we're shooting to have the release ready for your sandboxes for April 4th, and then the production launch on April 11th. So let's dive right into the new features. We have 40 major features to talk about in this new build of Avocado here. And it really affects almost everywhere in Avocado, such as the menu, the portal. We've made some changes for memberships, programs, instances, a lot of changes coming for facility bookings and Engage. And I'm going to break them down kind of by section for Avocado. And yeah, let's dive in. Let's start with some changes in the Avocado menu itself. There's 3 major features, and I'm just going to break down 2 of them with you guys this afternoon. And let's start with duplicate management. So with this feature, Avocado now supports a built-in Salesforce duplicate management functionality. And this means a couple different things. So for your front-end users in the Avocado menu, we've added the ability to block or alert users when creating duplicate accounts or contacts. And for your users of the Avocado portal, they'll also receive an error message when attempting to create a duplicate. And this is an example of what your team will see. Let's say they are entering info for a new contact, but maybe there's a duplicate email or phone number caught. They will see this warning message. You can still proceed, of course. That's up to your own policies for your own team. But again, you'll get a very clear indication that we've caught the duplicate, at which point you can either cancel or proceed. Moving on, let's talk about third-party reconciliation enhancements in the Avocado menu. This is a short but important one. We've added a contact column under a Avocado menu, third-party reconciliation, and payments for account. And there it is right there. We have Harry Potter here listed as our contact. And let's move on to the portal. A couple changes to talk about in the portal. Let's dive in here. We've made some changes to the membership flow. We've made a mandatory membership assignment in the portal. So the membership flow and now requires a contact to be selected through the Avocado portal when you're moving through this flow. For memberships with more than 1 member allowance, Only one contact is required to be selected, but again, you won't be able to complete this flow. Your clients, potential clients won't be able to until they select a contact. Here's an example working through this flow. We're at the stage for membership details. As you can see, this next button is grayed out. That's because I haven't yet selected one of my contacts to attach this membership to. So we'll go ahead and select a member from here. And we will get this success screen once we've selected a contact, at which point we can go ahead and complete the flow. Next, let's talk about some custom settings for membership expiration. So we've added the ability to control when a membership is listed in the Avocado portal as expiring. We've also added the ability to hide the expiring text in the Avocado portal, and these are both controlled through custom settings. So these are great for your shorter term memberships, maybe month long or 30-day, 10-day memberships or punch passes. We did have a default 90-day notice for expiry. Great for your year memberships, but didn't really apply to these shorter term ones. But we've ultimately left, we want to give you guys the control to choose how and when your clientele see when their memberships are expiring in the portal. So moving on to membership changes, really just one specifically pertaining to membership in terms of features here. We've made some adjustments to, we've added some controls to how membership sales default to the next day. Again, this is achieved through custom settings. And this new custom setting will allow your organization to control when memberships sold today will default to the next day. So if you maybe have, if you're open later, you have someone hop in at 9 p.m., they're excited to use their brand new membership. Um, instead of that membership defaulting to the next morning, you can control you can control these settings so they can still use that membership that evening if they choose to. And moving on to some changes and features pertaining to the waitlist. I have four to talk about here. First, we've added a waitlist button for instance packages in the portal. So portal users, they can now add themselves to a waitlist for an instance package in the portal. And here's just a quick example of what they'll see when they're browsing those instance packages in the portal. And there's our waitlist button right there. And we've also added some added control to the waitlist itself. We've added the option to either enable or disable the waitlist functionality on a program. And whatever you choose, this option will affect both the Avocado menu and the portal side. So this waitlist button, it's only going to show now when an instance is full, of course, and when enable waitlist is set to true. Here's an example. We're looking at a program now. You go ahead and make the choice to either enable that waitlist or leave it disabled. And again, that'll affect how it's viewed in the menu and in the portal. Next, let's talk about some new waitlist confirmation email functionality. We've added a new waitlist confirmation email that will send when users add themselves to a waitlist through the Avocado portal. Previously, they would receive an email, but it was for registration and not specifically letting them know they're on the waitlist. This is just one example. These templates are configurable as per your own branding and whatnot, but that's just a quick example. And on that note, I think just one more to cover. Waitlist automation. This is the one where I think most excited to get into your hands. Let's discuss automation from here. So in the spring release, we've added full automation to instance waitlists. This will activate when the number of registrations on an instance dips below the maximum. And there, of course, are people waiting on that waitlist. At that point, an email will be sent to the oldest waitlisted registration, oldest meaning those who have been waiting the longest on that waitlist. And then they will receive a template email. Again, here's just one example of how it can look, but these are all customizable. But that email will include a link. That link will invite them to go ahead and claim that spot or decline. So next, what the system is going to do is wait 24 hours. Um, it'll give them that sort of grace period to either accept or decline, or if they didn't have a chance to open it, what have you. But after that 24 hours, if we don't see they've accepted and claim that slot, the system will send an email to the next oldest person on that wait list. And this is all controlled by the program waitlist automation enabled field on the program. And again, we're just have an example here. There it is, select that, and then you're all set with waitlist automation. So next on my list, we'll talk about some program and instance changes in Avocado. Two to talk about here. First feature, we've added a calendar with holidays for rollover registration. What this means is we've added the ability for instance rollover registration to skip appropriate days. Holidays are the main use case here, but if you have any day on your calendar you know needs to be skipped for rollover registrations, um, these will not be counted towards attendance. And this is controlled by creating a facility closure event, and one event can specify multiple facilities are closed. An important note, this just affects rollover registrations right now, but in the future we are looking to add this functionality in other Avocado modules. Next, we'll talk about batch cancellation of registrations. With this feature, you can now cancel registrations in batch. This will do a few things. This will refund all the orders associated with those registrations, and it'll send an email to the registrants to inform them of the cancellation, of course. This amount to be refunded can be prorated, and you can separately cancel waitlist registrations in batches. And this is our example here. As you can see, we have our list of registrants. We can make our selection and cancel in bulk from there. All right, on to facility bookings. Quite a bit of work was done for facility bookings. A lot of work done on our user interface and overall user experience. So let's dive into this long list here. All right, took a sip because there's a lot to cover here. Let's talk about some cleanup made on our facility booking notes. We've updated the facility booking notes user interface to clearly show a start time and end time. Previously, you would select whether you were blocking a facility before or after and for how long. Now we have these dedicated start time and end time right here on our booking notes. And next, let's talk about drag and droppable calendar entries. I made a little video here, and I'm gonna let it play and kind of narrate along here. But with drag and drop functionality in facility management, this will allow a few things. You can now just move a booking by clicking and dragging it to a set time slot. Like I did it very slowly, but here I am grabbing that booking, and you can just go ahead and move it along the calendar wherever you need to. There it goes. You can also reduce or extend a booking just by clicking and dragging the bottom of the booking and kind of extending it. There we go. You can go ahead and extend or shrink the length of that time. And where applicable, you can also move a booking to another facility. That's if you're using a view that shows more than one facility at a time. But again, we want to make this a simple means to make on-the-fly adjustments. You can now, again, move them, reduce or extend just with the click of a button here. And I'll just let that play out. And any adjustment you make too, you will see that prompt to update. Yeah, pause that, okay. Moving on, next feature, you can now merge calendar entries for the same booking across multiple facilities. We've updated the print schedules calendar user interface to merge one booking across multiple facilities when the same booking is blocking multiple facilities. And here's an example of what that could look like on the print schedules calendar. And next, more on the print schedule screen. This is a simple one, but we've included the account and the facility as options there. You can select them, and that will populate the bookings accordingly. And a few more UI improvements. These affect both the print schedule screen and the book facility screen. We've updated the calendar view to include a scroll bar. So I understand when we were generating those calendars with quite a few facilities, it would tend to get a bit bunched up. We've added a scroll bar to mitigate that. Show facilities and show account, those are those options we discussed previously. Those are now selected by default, but are selectable. Parent and child facility bookings are now clearly viewable, and all booking entries are now clickable for more information. So throughout the UI, we want to make things more clickable, more just adjustable on the fly. Onto some reporting changes, just a couple to cover here affecting our class lists. First, contacts' primary emails are now viewable when generating your class lists. This will affect class lists as well as attendance lists and attendance lists with quantities. And we've added an option to show amount due on your class list reports as well. This is optional. We've added a new ability to include whether or not the instance has been paid for by the contact registered on the class list. And this is controlled by a checkbox right before creating the report. You can adjust that as per your own needs. And a couple changes to discuss on our order screens. Let's talk about manual reconciliation for refund orders. We've added the ability to manually reconcile a refund. Here's an example here. It should look familiar to those that have been with us for a while because the feature really works the same way as manually reconciling a payment. And here's our option for the refund. Next on the order screen, we've added filters. We've added the divisions and start date range filters when browsing orders. These are viewable either looking at orders on an account or on a point of sale. So if you're sifting through dozens or hundreds of different orders, these are a nice way to drill down and find specific orders where applicable. And moving on to Engage. Again, quite a bit done for Engage, affecting the user interface and overall experience, and plenty of functionality here. Let's talk about recording drop-off and pickup contacts. We've added a new ability to select a drop-off contact in Engage. You can select one drop-off contact from the same account. You can choose other or choose a school account. Here's an example. This is the Horton family. You guys might be familiar with them from past presentations, but Amy, she is ready to be dropped off. Here's my list of authorized drop-off contacts or family, and here's my options for either other or school drop-off. Next, with Engage, let's talk about a feature that affects how we account for additional days used in Engage. We've added an ability to add an additional order item to an existing order, and that's if an additional day was added through Engage. And this is ultimately going to allow for easier recordings of those extra days used when people pop in through Engage. Next, let's talk about changes to how attendance status is accounted for in Engage. We've made some user interface improvements just to allow for clear indication of check-in and check-out status. Contacts can display the following statuses. So they're either not checked in, they're checked in, they're absent, or they're checked out. And here's just one example, Cody Horton here, and here is our clearly visible options for check-in and check-out. And speaking of check-ins, let's talk about a optional limit to the number of check-ins per child. We've added an ability to control the number of check-ins allowed for an instance. And when you choose to enable that, a user cannot click add attendance if check-ins already have met that daily limit. So here's an example. We have this time Ronald Weasley. He's been checked out 3 times. And as per the predetermined limit on that instance, you'll see add attendance is grayed out because Ron has met that limit for the day. Next, let's talk about filters in Engage. We've also added filters to the check-in status in Engage. The filter options are the following. Again, either present, not yet checked in, absent, checked out, or not expected. We added this for your teachers, your program leaders, whomever. At a glance, you can just choose from this drop down here. Let's say you know you're expecting Cody, but I don't see him yet. Is he marked absent? Is he checked out? You have the means of control to kind of drill down and view your class list or program attendees from there. Next, with Engage, we'll talk about pickup contact data enhancements. We've added 2 new formula fields to the attendance object. They're picked up by name and picked up by phone number. And these are automatically going to populate based on the picked up by field. So we're looking at Amy Horton's attendance records right now, and we can see that she was picked up by her father, Ben, and we have his phone number clearly visible there. And I think lastly, we'll talk about absence in Engage. So we've added a checkbox to mark a contact as absent. You can click this button in Engage and of course mark that contact as absent. You can also select an absence reason, and that's controlled by the new absent reason field. And here we are, there is the option there. And then Amy has been marked as absent for the day. All right, and I think just one more change to talk about with you guys, just a quick one. We've added facility to the event object. And this is just a means of increasing the available options for reporting. That's my big list of features, and I got a big list of bug fixes in front of me now. There's over 20 bug fixes included in the spring release. I'm not going to spend too much time with these with you guys now, but I would like to remind you that support or your account manager, they're ready to answer any questions. With that said, though, there is one bug fix that I want to cover with you guys today. This is item 10070, Cantaloupe and access control types all programs field. So this fixed an issue where the access control types all programs field was not allowing door access as appropriate. This will now properly allow door access to any program with Cantaloupe door access set to true. And the reason I want to touch on this one with you guys during this presentation is because with this fix, it will change a previous workaround. I understand some are using a workaround by using access control types programs. As of the spring update, though, this will no longer work. So these access control types, they will need to be updated to use the all programs field instead. And once the spring release is requested for production, though, support will coordinate with you to restart Cantaloupe as well as answer any questions there. So again, just wanted to touch on this one with you guys because it may affect your current workflow. And again, if you do have any questions, give a shout to support and they'll be happy to help you through it. So let's kind of wrap up by talking about what's in development and what's coming next from our team. I always like to start this section with just a quick reminder. Development happens in stages. Our development does. All development happens in stages. And with the switch to quarterly releases, we are increasing focus on QA duration. With that said, let's talk about what you guys can expect from our summer release. So what's in development? We're working on stabilization throughout Avocado. We're working on implementing a skills module as a means of recording different skills like swimming training and what have you. We're also working on a module for makeup classes. Form enhancements are coming in future releases. And we're also investing a lot of time into user experience improvements in the portal. So I just want to touch on what to expect from us for the summer release plan. We are going to stick to this sort of weekly check-ins moving forward for the summer. So expect the release notes for the summer release on June 20th. A week after that, I'm looking forward to sitting down with you guys again to review the summer release. And a week after that, it'll be ready for your sandbox. And a week after that, it'll be ready for production. And this is just a quick summary of the year. We are here. And again, we are moving forward with quarterly releases for the summer, fall, and winter. So I think that's all I had for you guys. Just want to say thanks again for joining us. If you have any questions, again, reach out to any of us, reach out to your account manager, implementation manager, or support, and we'd love to hear from you. If you have any feedback on my presentation, please let me know. I want to make these as valuable as I can for you guys. And I think I'll just give the floor back to Matthew for some closing thoughts. Thanks again.
Thank you, Isaac. I didn't have anything to add to you. So I appreciate your time, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Team Avocado.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Isaac.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, all.
See you all. Bye, guys.